You guys know what time it is. Greetings and salutations. It's time to take our fantasy teams from being pretenders to being a championship winning squad. Let's get it. Here we go, shall we? Greetings and salutations, everybody. I'm here. I'm ready to talk some fantasy football. I've got some readjusted rankings. I mean, yesterday, the Carolina Panthers sold. I mean, they really did kill all of my excited vibes after the first game. Josh Allen popped off. Cole Beasley's dominating. I mean, Stephon Diggs had himself another great game, broke franchise records for receiving yards and receptions for the Bills. I mean, goodness. I mean, we were having a great morning, / afternoon yesterday. Then the Packers game had to happen. Devontae Adams had to do what he did to us, unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is. We're going to try to readjust. We're going to try to kind of push on ahead as much as we possibly can. Thank you for joining us today, this morning, on this wonderful Sunday. Again, we are just around the holiday season, so happy holidays to all of you. Again, I'm going to put up the rankings in just a bit. I appreciate you guys coming by. Make sure you click the like button down below. Really does help out the channel a lot. Let's get into this, shall we, guys? I'm excited. Let's get into this. Alrighty. So we've got, updated top 16 quarterback rankings, top 36 running backs, top 36 wide receivers, top 16 tight ends. We've got my predictions for week 15 above me, above my my bald dome. And we've got the players that are out this week on the very oh, well, you know what? I don't know if Matthew Stafford's out. He's questionable. I don't think he's going to be out. So, in fact, you know what I got to do? I got to adjust that. Because that right there is not exactly true. So let me see what I can do here. Let me see if I can update this. I believe I can, and therefore I will. But anyway, hopefully everything on screen can make sense to you guys. I know some of you have already sent in a donation. I'll get to that. I'll get to that in just a second. Just want to update this chart real quick. So I know that I can finally do this. Any second now, it'll be updated. 3, 2, 1. How about that? Fixed, right? Fixed. Perfect. All right. Now that that's fixed, we can go ahead and close that. And I think we're good to go. Shall we? All right. What's up, guys? Let's get into this chat. Let's see what's going on. Let's move this here down here. Carlos Sanchez sent in a donation. Thank you very much. Says, good morning, Andrew. Good morning to all of you guys. Again, I appreciate you guys coming by this morning. For those of you who were here yesterday, again, it didn't go as according to plan as I thought. Melvin Gordon had a great game. Noah Fant wanted to show up, but hey, very interesting turn of events. Either way, Carlos Sanchez says, in a half PPR, choose two. I have Wayne Gallman, Terry McLaurin, Ezekiel Elliott, and Robert Woods. Thank you. No problem. I like Robert Woods a lot today. He is my first and foremost selection in that specific scenario. And in between Wayne Gallman and Terry McLaurin, because I'm not interested in playing Ezekiel Elliott over the other two options. As of right now, I'd probably go with Terry McLaurin. So I go McLaurin and Woods. Roll those two out there. Thank you very much, Carlos. Chris YouTube 5 fan says, Cooks, Fournette, Gage, flex, full PPR. If I'm picking one in a full PPR, I'm playing Russell Gage today. I appreciate it. I think Brandon, in a full PPR, I like Brandon Cooks, but I really do think that Russell Gage can very easily catch the ball 7 times, 75 yards at a very minimum today, and solidify his value over Brandon Cooks and or Leonard Fournette. Of course, Cooks dealing with an injury, didn't play last week. Fournette dealing with an injury, didn't play last week. I'd rather just go with the guy that's predominantly healthy and going to be a huge part of that offense as they'll be throwing the entire game. Barry Goldberg, thank you very much, says, this is a thank you for the great season. I have no question. You have set me up for success. I appreciate that, Barry. Thank you for your contribution and supporting the channel. Anthony says, Big Ben or Ryan Tannehill? I'm going to go with, actually, that's a good question. I like Tannehill a lot, and I think he's probably the go-to here. But when I say that, I honestly think Big Ben has very little chance of busting today in terms of they don't have really a running game. James Conner's beat up. Even when James Conner's not in the backfield, Benny Snell, Anthony McFarland, they're not able to really get any production out of that backfield. So as it currently stands, I really have a hard time thinking that Big Ben is going to fail at any capacity. He's going to have himself a great game. But at the same time, I think it could be a blowout because Ryan Finley will be the starting quarterback of the Bengals. And then maybe in the second half, he's not throwing the ball as much. But regardless, I really do like Ryan Tannehill as a guy that has a lot of upside and a high floor. So I'm just going with Tannehill. But the reason why I'm mentioning Big Ben in this capacity is because, again, I don't think he's a bad decision either. But I prefer Ryan Tannehill this week. Walter Gregg, thank you for the donation, says, had Adams last night. Yep, same. If I'm going down, if I'm down going into the Sunday night game, should I start Wayne Gallman or Rashard Higgins? Okay, as of right now, I think it matters what scoring format, but if it's me, I think I'm going with Higgins. I think if we're looking for the upside play, it's Higgins, and that's kind of what he's been the last 2 weeks. He's actually been ridiculously good in comparison to what he was earlier this season, and mainly because when Odell Beckham finally, was confirmed that he had torn his ACL and all that kind of jazz had gone about, there was, I think, like 4 or 5 consecutive weeks in which this offense for the Cleveland Browns had to play at home in awful weather scenarios, right? And every single week it was just pouring rain, 40-mile-per-hour winds, and they couldn't pass the ball. It was just run. In the last 2 weeks, now that the weather in Cleveland's cleared up and they've been traveling to other teams, I mean, what is this? 19 targets, 12 receptions, over 150 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns in the last 2 games. James Bradbury is going to be out today because he's on the COVID list. I think Rashard Higgins is a fantastic play today, and that's why I'd suggest him there. I appreciate it, Walter. Let's see here. Jack Darjean says, thoughts on the 49ers backfield, how the 49ers backfield plays out today? Thank you. Okay. I think that because of the injury to Raheem Mostert, he is going to be, I would assume, the second guy in this backfield in terms of getting touches. I think Jeff Wilson will lead the pack. If, in fact, Mostert still starts the game, that's fine. But I do think that Jeff Wilson is going to command a majority of the touches. That might not be the case because, again, we don't know what Kyle Shanahan is scheming. For all we know, Tevin Coleman or Jerick McKinnon lead the backfield for touches. But from what we can anticipate as of right now, I think the best bet is going with Jeff Wilson today if you're going to play one of the guys in the backfield. I still think that in the same vein, Raheem Mostert is a good play today because they play against Dallas and they can't stop the run. And with the way that this offense has functioned, Kyle Shanahan is going to make sure that they succeed today offensively. So I think regardless of which one you play, they will find success, but I think Jeff Wilson is the better play. Eddie Martinez says, I need 3 in a full PPR. We have Justin Jefferson, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Swift, and J.K. Dobbins. Okay, Justin Jefferson, in my opinion, and DeAndre Swift are automatic plays. So then it comes down to McLaurin and Dobbins. I think Dobbins in the last 2 weeks has been about a solid 13 points. I honestly think against the Jacksonville Jaguars, he even has a little bit more upside in comparison to weeks prior. Therefore, I'd go with him. I'd avoid the Terry McLaurin situation as of right now. I don't know how that's going to entirely pan out. So that in itself kind of scares me a bit because I don't know how Dwayne Haskins is going to be able to feed him the ball and if they're going to find success against the defense that has played significantly better in the last month of the season. So for now, I'd go with your other options. I'd go with JJ, Justin Jefferson, Swift, and Dobbins in that full PPR scenario. I appreciate it. Anthony sends another question, says, pick 2, Connor, Lynn Bowden. We have Gus Edwards, Snell, and Ahmed. Okay, so here's the thing. Bowden's not on my running back list because he really isn't a running back. Even though he was drafted as such, he's a slot receiver for that team. So the question is, how many pieces in that offense are actually still healthy? As of right now, I think Gus Edwards and Bowden are the 2 that I'm playing out of that group, though. Yeah, those are the 2 that I'm playing out of that group. Because Salvin Ahmed is technically questionable. If he plays, I would consider it, but to be honest, I think he'll split carries with DeAndre Washington potentially. Benny Snell and James Conner are guys that I really don't want to touch. So in a full PPR, I'm probably going to go with Gus Edwards and Lynn Bowden there. I appreciate it, Anthony. Noah says Gronk or Ebron. I keep on flipping. Okay, so in a standard league, because in a half PPR, I do prefer Ebron. As you can see on screen, I did change it from yesterday. Yesterday, I did have Gronk just slightly ahead of him. But I'm just thinking to myself, okay, if you're playing against Atlanta and Chris Godwin or Mike Evans or Antonio Brown start to really go off, and garner a lot of targets. It will pull attention away from Gronk, and it could give him a couple opportunities here and there. But in comparison to what Eric Ebron's been getting for the last, I don't know, I'd say 6-7 weeks in this offense, it's kind of hard to pass up. But that being said, touchdown upside. Who has it between the two? I think it's Gronk, but I'd still play Ebron in a half PPR. I think in terms of yardage, Ebron just gives you a safer floor of production overall. So that's why I'm just going to continue to just roll with Ebron there. But again, if you're just looking for who's going to score the touchdown, I think the more likely chance is that Gronkowski ends up doing so. Okay, where are we at here? Thank you, Noah. Appreciate that. All right, Loggerman says Gronk or Logan Thomas. I'd go with Gronk there. Kenyon Drake or Chris Carson. I go with Chris Carson there. I appreciate it. If, in fact, Chase Edmonds is out, then we can have the conversation because there will be receptions going in the direction of Kenyon Drake at a premium this week. But until then, and even then, I think I'm still going to go with Chris Carson. He's just been far too reliable as of late. There's only been, I think, one game this season in which Chris Carson played the full game and he didn't score a touchdown. So he's been a touchdown guy every single week except for one. I'm not even going to count the week that he only played the first quarter and left with an injury. So again, I mean, in the last couple weeks, or in the last 2 weeks specifically, he's getting over 100 yards all purpose. He didn't even have to play the fourth quarter of last week because, again, they were blowing out the Jets. I think he continues to just keep feasting in this offense as we continue. So I go Gronk and Carson there. Appreciate it, Logger. Edward Rodriguez says, salutations. Thanks for the great advice all year, Andrew. I have Chubb in a PPR. Pick 2, Godwin, Amari Cooper, or Hunt. All right, so I'm going to go with Godwin for sure there. In between Amari Cooper and Hunt. I think Amari Cooper could easily catch the ball 4 times for probably like 60 yards. Does he have the upside of a touchdown? That's, I guess, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, he's been scoring for the last 3 weeks, so I guess the force is on his side as of right now. But in terms of him or Kareem Hunt against the Giants, I kind of feel like I'm going to go Kareem Hunt in this scenario. Yeah. So I'd go with Godwin and Hunt. It is close in my eyes, and that's why I have a little bit of a hesitation. But from what I'm thinking as of right now, how this offense is going to kind of manage its way through today's game, specifically the Cleveland Browns offense, I think there will be a lot of Hunt usage, just like last week and every other week prior. But specifically down on the goal line, he'll probably steal a touchdown. He'll easily get himself upwards of like 12, 13 points. It's just a matter of the upside that he could potentially get going forward. Why are Rams ranked so low? I don't think they're ranked low. I mean, again, a lot of the Rams starting offense, and this is to address, whose question was this in the chat? Where did it go? I don't know where it went. Okay, my eyes are tricking me, but I know I saw it. The reason why I don't have Rams as extremely high as I guess you maybe think they are. They're not going to play the fourth quarter. The game's going to be a blowout. So maybe if they have enough production in the first 3 quarters, you're good. But the starters aren't playing in the fourth quarter. That's why I have Darrell Henderson on screen, because I do think he's going to come in and take touches away from Cam Akers in the fourth. So that's just what I'm thinking as right now. Okay, let's see here. We have Matthew comes in with the question. Full PPR. We have Devontae Parker, Jeff Wilson Jr., Rashard Higgins, and Russell Gage. Okay, so if we're picking one out of this group, actually, let me just rank them all for you. I think that's just an easier way of going about this. Where's my full PPR ranks? Where are we with this? Okay, so in a full PPR, I'm probably going with, where the heck? Come on. All right, these are your options, right? In a full PPR, I'm probably going Gage, Higgins, Wilson, Parker, in that order. Thank you very much, Matthew. I appreciate it. Tyler Simpson says Ravens or Browns defense. Okay, let's go find my rankings. We have the Ravens as our number 3 defense, and we have the Browns as our number 4. Just to give you perspective, Rams are number 1, Pittsburgh number 2, Baltimore number 3, Cleveland number 4. Okay, so I'd go with the Baltimore defense there. Having a hard time after Kitchens. You think there's going to be a little bit of a revenge game for the Browns versus Freddie Kitchens because Jason Garrett is not going to be the offensive coordinator today for that team. It'll be Freddie Kitchens because he got sick. There could be a little bit of a revenge game, but honestly, I mean, this team's going to come out and try to win regardless. So I still think that probably the Ravens versus Jacksonville might be the better play. But again, I think both defenses, 2 of the top 4. So I think whichever way you go, you've got a pretty good option. Jordan Caba says, need a flex, full PPR, Emmanuel Sanders, Zeke, Crowder, Hurst, Hines. Okay, out of the group, it's between Hines and Emmanuel Sanders. To be honest, I'm leaning towards going with Nyheim Hines, but I think this will be a higher scoring event between these two teams, between Kansas City and New Orleans. So based just on that, I know there's going to be 12 receptions going in the direction of Alvin Kamara. There will be 4 maybe in Jared Cook's direction. And then it's going to be a coin toss between Emmanuel Sanders or Traquan Smith. I think Sanders plays a big role in this offense today. And that's why I'm going to go with him in a full PPR. I appreciate it, Jordan. Kenneth Williams says, 1 for a flex, full PPR. Andrews, Chark, or Corey Davis. I'd play Mark Andrews there. I appreciate it, Kenneth. Heat131 says Akers or Montgomery, full PPR. In a full PPR, I'm going to play Montgomery. Again, I've mentioned it multiple times this week. He's caught the ball 4 times for 40 yards each of the last 3 games. He's getting a lot of usage in the passing game, obviously because of Tariq Cohen's torn ACL earlier this season. There's not a receiving back on that team to siphon away touches from him, which makes him a top 12 back this year, of course. So again, based on that, being able to get that much more upside in terms of PPR work, and the fact that he scored 20 points each of the last 3 weeks in fantasy gives me even more confidence to continue to fire him up into the Vikings matchup today. Appreciate it, Heat. Vimar says flex Hilton versus the Texans or Carson versus Washington, half PPR. I think Carson's still a solid play there. T.Y. Hilton's been 15 plus points, upwards of 20 points, scoring 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Those are great performances out of T.Y. Hilton, and honestly, against the Texans, he can do no wrong. If it was a full PPR, I'd pull the trigger on Hilton. But for right now, I'm still going to go with Carson versus Washington. Okay, let's see here. Want to check something. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Okay, that's that. Just answer that question. Okay. John says, in a full PPR, I need a flex. Okay. Akers, Ayuk, Lockett, Gallman, Sanders, or Hilton. Currently starting Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson, Tyreek Hill, and Adam Thielen. Thanks. Okay. Man, with this current roster, if I have to start one at the flex in a full PPR, I think it's Brandon Ayuk. Yeah. I'm playing Brandon Ayuk there against Dallas. Because in a full PPR, Brandon Ayuk is, let me go see where I have him on my list. I'm pretty sure he's significantly higher than a lot of these guys. Brandon Ayuk's there. Akers is below him. Who else was available? You already have James Robinson starting, right? Yeah, okay, so that was the only other guy that was higher than him in my rankings. So yeah, I'm playing Brandon Ayuk there. I appreciate it, John. Man, you got a stacked roster to say the very least. All right, let's see here. Gary Helms says, Mostert or Fournette or Dobbins. I don't trust Dobbins. I would, because each of the last 3 weeks, or each of his last 3 games specifically, not even just the last 3 weeks, he's led the running backs in terms of total snaps. He's led the running backs in terms of total touches, and he scored each of the last 3 games played. So that in itself continues to give me confidence in his ability, and his ability to at least have himself a pretty good game today. The Jacksonville Jaguars are, in terms of giving up the points against running backs, I think they're giving up the 5th most points this season. As of late, they really haven't been able to stop anybody. There's a reason why Derrick Henry went for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. Because, again, that defense really can't stop a soul. And I think they'll definitely be able to take advantage of that today. Sean Michael in the chat says, Emmanuel Sanders, 19 points today. That is a bold call, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, as of right now, Gary, I would trust in Dobbins. If you weren't going to play him, The next best option, in my opinion, is Fournette and then Mostert. So Dobbins, Fournette, Mostert in that order. Appreciate it, Gary. Chris Chang says, Hurts or Tanny? 6 point per passing touchdown. Will the Titans blow out the Lions? I think with Matthew Stafford playing, I don't think it'll be technically a blowout because we know how bad the Tennessee Titans defense has been this season. And that in itself could give the Lions more of an opportunity to come back, keep this game interesting, and also be able to at least keep it competitive enough where Tannehill is throwing the ball for a majority of the game and not having to at least shut it all down in the fourth quarter. So I think there's a pretty good chance that Tannehill ends up having himself a pretty good game. In a 6 point per passing touchdown format as well, I think it also still leans in Tannehill's direction. He's had 2 touchdowns in, what is it? I think it's 12 of his 13 games this season. He has had 2 touchdowns. If I'm not mistaken, that's the stat. In comparison to Hurts, who only threw 1 passing touchdown last week, if Hurts, let's say, for example, throws another passing touchdown, still gets the yardage he gets last week, he's going to have himself a pretty good game, right? Don't get me wrong. But I still think that the 6 point per passing touchdown format does lean in the direction of Tannehill. But again, if we're going to get another 100-yard game out of Hurts, then he's going to continue to rise on our boards. But I like Tanny. Krishan Barkley says, PPR flex, Hollywood Brown, David Johnson, or Chark. As of right now, I do like the idea of, okay, so here's the thing. I don't like Chark. Get him out of here. No, thank you. It's between David Johnson and Hollywood Brown. Because Duke Johnson's out, there is going to be more receiving work for David Johnson, but is it going to be significant enough for me to go in his direction and say, yeah, for sure, he's my starting guy? I'm probably going to say no. I think Hollywood Brown's probably the play here. He's been activated. He tested negative the whole week, therefore he's able to play today. In the last 3 games, again, similar to Dobbins, he has scored. He's gotten himself his opportunity. Even when he's dropping passes, Lamar continues to go back to him. He's their number 1 receiving option, and I expect him to play well. So as of right now, Hollywood Brown is my suggestion. Second would be David Johnson, third Chark there. Appreciate it, Sean. Logger Man says, Drew Brees starting. Thoughts? Also, Colts defense, ? Okay, let's see where the Colts defense is in my rankings this week. So I have Colts defense as my number 8 this week in terms of the defenses. I mean, obviously, that's removing the Bills from yesterday's game, which had a great game defensively, obviously. But Colts defense should be good. Last time they played against Deshaun Watson, put a lot of pressure on him, sacked him a bunch of times, even had a defensive safety. They couldn't even force him to throw a couple interceptions. Very possible. As for Drew Brees starting, I think this is a game in which Drew Brees, it's not about a matter of like getting the rust off of him. I think it's just dust, right? He's been sitting on a shelf for the last 5 weeks here. I think it's less. I think it's been like November. I think it's about 4 weeks here, maybe 3.5, 4 weeks. He's been sitting on a shelf. I think he just needs to knock off the dust. After the first quarter, we'll see the regular Drew Brees come back. But it's a matter of being able to keep up with Patrick Mahomes. So I think he'll be throwing the entire game. I don't think there's a time that he's going to be able to stop throwing the ball. And whether that's down the field to Jared Cook or Emmanuel Sanders, or just dumping it off and letting Alvin Kamara do everything, I think he finds himself in a pretty good spot. But obviously there is a little bit of a regression from him because there isn't Michael Thomas out there, and that's why he's ranked where he is right now. But either way, he'll be throwing for majority of the game. Let's see here. Nick Kenworthy with a question says, hey man, could you pick 2 between Cam Akers, Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, T.Y. Hilton in a full PPR? Played Keenan Allen, so I need high upside. Okay. If we're looking for high upside out of this group, I think it is, oh man. I think I might have to go with T.Y. Hilton and David Montgomery here. I really like Cam Akers a lot. But I think if we're looking for PPR high upside, I think it's David Montgomery and T.Y. Hilton there, Nick. Yeah, I appreciate it though. Jonathan says, PPR, Dobbins or Deontay Johnson? Honestly, to be honest, man, I think I'll just go Dobbins there. For right now, as much as I think Deontay Johnson will be just fine, it might be sketchy to play him in your game that's going to either send you the chip or send you back home and it's over. So that's my biggest worry. So for right now, I think I'm just going to go with the guy that I trust more, which is Dobbins. Let's hear Jared Cook or Logan Thomas as well from Jonathan. Jonathan, I'm going Jared Cook for sure there. Appreciate it. 916 Chaos Lord, appreciate you. Says, full PPR, pick 2. Chris Carson, James Robinson, Cam Akers, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp. I'm playing Akers and Robinson in a full PPR. Thank you very much, Chaos Lord. Michael says, morning, Andy. I followed your advice and I benched Michael Davis literally 1 minute before kickoff. Thank you for the okay, so here we go. So what do we have here? Davis got 6 points. That is correct. Okay, so kickoff for TY. Oh, beautiful. Okay, nice. That's great. What's your outlook for TY half PPR? I mean, let's just see what he's done the last couple of weeks. I think he could very easily catch the ball the way that he's been catching the ball as of late. 5 times, 70 plus yards and a touchdown. I think that's a pretty solid base of production there. So 15 points. That's just like what I see as a minimum. He could even do more. So yeah, Michael Davis sold yesterday. But I think it was mainly Teddy Bridgewater. If Teddy Bridgewater doesn't fumble on that 1 yard line, then we have a completely different story. But yeah, it's been tough. Alrighty. Grant says, I need one. Connor, Ahmed, Gus Edwards. I'm going to go with Gus Edwards there. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Grant. Perry says, half PPR, flex, Jeff Wilson Jr., Kareem Hunt, Deontay Johnson. Give me Kareem Hunt every day of the week there. I Shine 101, thank you very much, says, I need upside. Cart took a garbage poop on my lineup. And I'm going against Josh Allen and Diggs. Woo! I have Lamar soon as super flex, 4 point per passing touchdown. Pick 3. Montgomery, JK, Nick Chubb, Chris Carson, and Drake. Oh my God. You got to trade these players, man. You have to. You have to trade these players before you get here so that you have stronger pieces elsewhere. But that being said, of the group that you've thrown out in front of me, Montgomery, Nick Chubb, and Chris Carson are the guys that I'm going with. J.K. Dobbins and Kenyon Drake have to sit this week. I'm going Montgomery, Nick Chubb, Drake, and Chris Carson. Thank you very much, iShine. All right. Blake Schmidt says full PPR, pick 1. Dobbins, Connor, Kiki Cutie, McLaurin, Deontay Johnson. Out of the group, I'm going Dobbins. And then the second question, starting Juju. Oh, no, this is just in general. Starting Juju, Godwin, Robinson, and Montgomery. Play both Steelers wide receivers? Nah, I think right now, again, like I talked about with the earlier question, I don't know what we're going to see out of Deontay Johnson. So for right now, I'd rather just go with the guaranteed points and just find, the solidified, I don't know, I would say 13 plus point player. For right now, I think that is Dobbins in that group. He has obviously more upside to break out a couple big runs here. I think they're going to kill the Jaguars, but I think it also helps Dobbins' overall floor. All right. Rashab Singh says, Gallman or T.Y. Hilton? We're going to play T.Y. Hilton there every day of the week. Appreciate it. Matthew Cruz says 4 point per passing. 4 point PPR. 4 point PPR. That's got to be wrong, right? There's no way you guys are getting 4 points per reception. Regardless, let's just see what this is. It says, I need to flex Gus Edwards, Russell Gage, Lynn Bowden Jr., Chad Hansen. Thanks for all the help this year. If we're playing one in a PPR in general, I'm playing Russell Gage. And if it's a 4 point per passing or per reception format, even better. But either way, I think regardless, if it's a full PPR or a 4 point per PPR, 4 point, I'm still going Russell Gage there. Appreciate it, Matthew Cruz. Let's see here. X-Men sent in a question, but the message didn't get attached. Hopefully you typed it in the chat, so when I get there. All right, X-Men, where is your question? Here it is. It says, I didn't send message, LOL. No, that's not a problem. Just go ahead and type it in. Okay, so here we go, X-Men, XRP. Non-PPR, start 1. Allen Robinson, Amari Cooper, or Godwin. If I'm picking one out of the 3 in a non-PPR, I'm playing Allen Robinson. I think he has the higher touchdown upside of the group. I appreciate it, X-Men. Bryce Adams says Kenyon Drake or Chris Godwin. In a half PPR, I'm probably going Kenyon Drake there. Appreciate it. Full PPR, we'll go with Chris Godwin. Let's see here. Joel says, in standard flex, we have DeAndre Hopkins, DeAndre Swift, Chris Carson, Allen Robinson. Wow. Ooh. I think I'm going DeAndre Hopkins there. I really do think that Darius Slay is not that good of a cornerback anymore. I think he's kind of fallen off this year. Number one wide receivers have dominated against that secondary this season. Just go look at what DK Metcalf and Devontae Adams just did to them in the last month. I'm going D-Hop there. Thank you very much. Alejandro says Akers, Taylor, Jefferson. Okay, if we're going between those three, I'm playing Jonathan Taylor every time. After what he's done in the last couple weeks, I mean, there's no way I'm not playing Jonathan Taylor there. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Nick Kenworthy says, thanks for all the help, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. iShawn101 comes back, says, need more upside, half PPR, flex, Emmanuel Sanders, T. Higgins, Boyd, Fournette, Pollard, if Zeke misses on waivers, is Hollywood Brown, Shepard, Gage, Crowder, Rashard Higgins, Todd Gurley, Peyton Barber. Okay. So of what you have, to be honest, if we're looking for upside in this format, it's Hollywood Brown or it's Rashard Higgins, in my opinion. I'm not playing T. Higgins. I'm not playing Tyler Boyd. I'm not playing Pollard. If Zeke is out, even then it's not as enticing to me because the 49ers run defense has been great all season long. So as it currently stands, it'll be between like Hollywood, Emmanuel Sanders, Rashard Higgins. Out of the group, I prefer Hollywood Brown, then Rashard Higgins, then Emmanuel Sanders. Obviously, Gage is in that conversation as well. So, but for right now, if we're looking for upside, I think it's Hollywood. Jay Lopez says flex, choose one PPR: Mostert, Boyd, Rieger, Lamb. I kind of want to say CeeDee Lamb in this specific scenario. So this is the reasoning why. The slot corner of the 49ers, he is on the IR right now. That was made apparent, I think it was 2 weeks ago, when I was hammering down, we have to play Cole Beasley against them. We have to play Cole Beasley against them because the slot corner was out and they were definitely going to get toasted there. They did. Cole Beasley had a great game against the 49ers. So for right now, I'm thinking that might still be the case. Their slot corner is going to be in a little bit of trouble. I'd probably go CeeDee Lamb there in a PPR. All right, let's see here. Chris sends in a question. It says, full PPR. I need a running back too and a flex. I have Kareem Hunt, Jeff Wilson Jr., and Deontay Johnson. Out of the three, I'm for sure playing Kareem Hunt. As for Jeff Wilson Jr. versus Deontay Johnson, I think this is probably, in my opinion, this is the decision that wins or loses you everything, right? And I don't want to put that much pressure on it, but I think this is really at that point. These are two players that, again, as of right now, it's not a guarantee of whether or not they're going to get anything, right? We may show up and Raheem Mostert's dominating, or we may show up and Deontay Johnson's not even in the rotation. There's a very good chance of both these things happening. If I'm just trying to just lock down points, I think there's a very good chance that Deontay has more points than Jeff Wilson this week in a full PPR format, because all he really has to do is catch the ball like 6 times. Now, that being said, it's not easy to catch the ball 6 times. You need a pretty large amount of targets in your direction, but I think he'll be pretty capable of doing so. Man, this is tough. All right, so here's the thing. If you want solid points, if you want 10-plus points, I think Jeff Wilson's your guy. If you're looking for upside, it's Deontay Johnson. If it's me, if it's my roster, and you're already projected to probably be even, I want just guaranteed points. If you're projected to lose by like 20 already, then you go Deontay and you try to roll the dice here. Appreciate it, Chris. James Grover says, set my lineup, full PPR. I need a RB2. Okay, McKissick or Lynn Bowden. I'm going to play J.D. McKissick. Now, I'll tell you why. I specifically looked into this. Dwayne Haskins really does like targeting backs. In the first, month of the season when Dwayne Haskins was the starting quarterback, he did target J.D. McKissick a lot in those contests and even had a couple sprinkled targets in Antonio Gibson's direction. So both those backs got a lot of work. It's just a matter of the offense. That's how the offense works in Washington. So I'm for sure going J.D. McKissick there. And then Cousins or Hurts. I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts there. And then as for your tight end, we have Reed, Higbee, Irv Smith, and Gesicki. I'm going to go with Irv Smith there. Gesicki, if he was full healthy and he wasn't a question mark on whether he was going to play and we were good to go, then I would probably lean his direction. But for now, with the injury, Kyle Rudolph for sure out, I think I'm going to go Irv Smith there. So again, it'll be McKissick, Hurts, and Irv Smith. Appreciate it. Alrighty, we move on. We have A. Daniel says, Drake, scared of Kyler vulturing. Hasn't done that in a very long time. Don't have to worry about that. Sanders Worried he'll bust. Nah, I don't think he's going to do that either. Or Carson, tough matchup in my flex. Already playing Chubb and Taylor. My goodness. All right. So here's the thing. Drake doesn't get vultured anymore. I don't think that's happened in a very long time. I can go ahead and confirm this, but I'm pretty sure Kyler Murray hasn't had a rushing touchdown. Let's see here. He hasn't had a rushing touchdown since week 10. And that's obviously been where he stopped running the ball. So he hasn't really vultured in a very long time. So I'm not really too worried about that. That shouldn't stop you from playing Drake. Sanders, I think because of the fact that he's getting work in the PPR format as well, getting more receptions than he was with Carson, and the offense, when you have a mobile quarterback, that backside defensive end cannot crash down. He has to sit there and he has to play it square. Otherwise, Jalen Hurts is running off with fat yardage. But either way, out of the three, I honestly do like Carson, even in the tough matchup. You got you have 5 really good running backs. If I had Chubb, Taylor, Drake, Sanders, and Carson, I think to myself, there's no way I could lose. But again, you can only start 3 a week. So that's the only way you could lose is if the 3 you play don't do anything. What does it say? Wow. Ezekiel Elliott is inactive. So if you had Zeke, go replace him right now. So let's see here. Wait, what is this? Like the stream before Andrew gets pissed off? Fuck you. How about that? Yeah, Zeke is out. All right, so let me see here. Let me see if we can do some adjusting on the fly here. I already had Tony Pollard in the top 34 because I did think he was going to get good work. To be honest, I think I put him where I had Zeke. To be honest, he might even be higher. Because if he's getting the full workload, maybe they just let him have it. I'd say we probably put Tony Pollard at like 24. Because nobody else is coming to take touches from him. There's always Pollard taken from Zeke, but I don't think anybody's taken from Pollard if he's the lone back. So we'd probably put Zeke we take Zeke off the... Okay, so let's do this right now. I got to adjust the screen real quick. Let me go to the graphic and all right, let's remove Zeke here. Let's move him to the out list. So Zeke, you come here. Let's move these guys down. Move this there. And then I got to add someone at 36, right? Let's move Pollard up a significant margin. Do I want to play him over J.D. McKissick in a half PPR? Against Seattle? Yeah, I do. We're moving that again. All right, so let's do this. We'll move him there. Move these guys down. I need another running back. Where's my running back rankings? Who did I have earlier today that I took away from this list? What is that other update? Okay. Antonio Gibson officially out. It's like we knew that 6 months ago. What are we talking about here? All right, give me a second, guys. I will do anything real quick. Okay, so who was asking me about a thing earlier? Let me see here. Yeah, no, I'm still playing Hollywood Brown in that specific scenario. So yeah, that's not a big deal. Okay, so I need to go ahead and I need to fill somebody right here. Who's my number? Where's the list here? Okay. So we do this. Done. Now I got to do this. Is it perfect? Perfect. All right. Let's go ahead. Now we can adjust here. Sorry about this, guys. Let me just go ahead and update this because, again, when people eventually fold in, they're going to say, Andrew, Zeke's out. Why is he on the list? And I'll be like, all right. Sorry. Let me just make this graphic and then we'll be good to go. It should change in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Zeke's off the list now, right? And Pollard's in his stead. Perfect. Done. All right. Cool. All right. Now that we've done that, I can continue. Thank you very much. We did a Daniel's question. Flexen says, Mark Andrews or Logan Thomas? I'm playing Mark Andrews without a doubt. Rashab Singh says full PPR Cam Akers or T.Y. Hilton. In this specific scenario, I want to try to, I want to play Hilton, but I think the guaranteed points of Akers is too hard to give up. Just go with the guaranteed points there against the Jets. Brandon sends in a question. Brandon Snowden, where is your question in the chat? Because I see the donut. Okay, here it is. Full PPR, Rashard Higgins or Marvin Jones or Russell Gage. All right, so as of right now, between the three, in a full PPR format, I feel like Russell Gage is probably the safest play of the bunch, mainly because he's probably the guy that'll very easily catch the ball 6-7 times for 70 yards, right? If he gets a touchdown, it's even better. But I think Rashard Higgins is pretty close in terms of being stable there. Marvin Jones, in my opinion, does take a step down in a full PPR, though. I do, in comparison to this half PPR ranking that you see on screen, it is different in a full PPR. So for right now, if it is full PPR, I'd go with Russell Gage there. Yeah, that's my suggestion at the moment. Thank you very much. We have here Damon Smith says Matthew Stafford or Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, 100%. I think Matthew Stafford does have a chance of because he's dealing with the cartilage injury in his ribs. That's purely pain management. So Cam Akers had that exact same injury earlier this season when he was running the ball against the Buffalo Bills. He fell down and the ball injected his rib cage. He was out for a couple weeks based purely on pain management. Also, he has that UCL injury in his thumb. At any moment, this guy could literally fall apart and leave the game. So for right now, I'm for sure playing Jalen Hurts. Has more upside as well. All right, trying to catch up. We have JT saying full PPR, Hawkinson or Gronk. Hawkinson for sure. Can you talk about Stafford's injury impact and May? Okay, yeah, here we go. So just wow, it's perfect how both of you guys donated back to back. Holy moly. Okay, I'll answer your second question first, then we'll get into Stafford. You're saying Drake or Dobbins. I'm going to play Drake in that specific scenario. Now, as for Stafford's injury and how it may impact Hawkinson. So, again, it is pain management. He's a tough guy. We've seen him with a blown out shoulder throw touchdowns and dominate. So, it's a matter of just willpower. If they can keep him protected and healthy, then he'll be fine, and he'll be able to at least move this offense. He wouldn't play if he couldn't, and that's the whole thing in my opinion. Typically, when I see players injured play, there's a difference between being hurt and injured, right? I honestly think he's hurt and he's in pain, but I don't think he's injured and he's not gonna play, So in terms of impacting Hawkinson, if Chase Daniel comes in, I don't think it hurts Hawkinson that much because he typically is the guy that a lot of the plays are built for. They're trying to get him the ball actively. That's how this offense works with Darrell Bevell. He did that back in Seattle with Jimmy Graham, and that's what he's done with Hawkinson all season long. So as of right now, I'm still going with Hawkinson. I think even if Stafford leaves with an injury, he still has a pretty solid floor. Now, as for Marvin Jones or any of the other receiving options as wide receivers their values diminished significantly. But I think Hawkinson and Swift stay pretty stable there. Appreciate it, JT. Let's hear it. Mark sends in a question, says Godwin or Akers in a full PPR. I'd go with Akers there. Appreciate it, man. Michael says, I have DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, T.Y. Hilton, James Robinson, Jared Cook. And he has Gallman, David Johnson, Jefferson, Metcalf, McLaurin, and Gronk. Who has the advantage or more upside? You have significantly the better roster. I mean, the fact that you have DeAndre Hopkins and Tyreek Hill and James Robinson, you're in a pretty good advantage there. I know McLaurin and Justin Jefferson are pretty good, but I don't think any of his running backs stack up to yours. I think Jared Cook's better than Gronk this week. I think T.Y. Hilton's better than McLaurin. I think the advantage is in your favor, even though you have one less running back, to be honest. All right. Jeremy Lankins says, thank you, Andrew. You were spot on last week. Need 2 for a full PPR. Jeff Wilson, T.Y. Hilton, Brandon Cooks, Claypool. Need the biggest upside to beat my opponent. As of right now, in a full PPR, I'm for sure playing T.Y. Hilton. Now, as for Brandon Cooks, Jeff Wilson Jr., and Claypool, if you had a little bit of a significantly better wide receiver play, I'd consider them. But because there isn't that case, I think in a full PPR, let me see here. I'm going to check some things on Brandon Cooks. I'm actually curious what the injury was because I don't remember what it was. And where are we at here? Okay, so last time Brandon Cooks was out. All right, so let's see here. What was the reasoning? Sorry, guys, I just want to confirm this before I make my for sure statement here. Brandon Ayuk. Goodness, okay, here we go. So what was he out for last week? It was a neck injury. God, of course it was a neck injury. Something that you can't even control at this point. All right, so here's my thought process. I think very easily against Indianapolis, Brandon Cooks could surpass 10 points. If he scores a touchdown, then sure, he gets himself 15 points. But it's just a matter of, can he actually do that? I don't think it's going to be better than a Jeff Wilson Jr. play. I'm thinking it's Jeff Wilson and T.Y. Hilton at this point. Claypool is very volatile as well. As of right now, with the last two performances of Claypool, you'd have to just be really ballsy to play him. And that in itself, I'm not willing to do it in, the Final Four or this, the semifinals. So for now, I'm going to go Jeff Wilson and T.Y. Hilton there. Appreciate it, Jeremy. James Grover says, Zeke has been ruled out. Start McKissick or Pollard, full PPR. In a full PPR, I go with McKissick. But that's just, it's ever so slightly. It really is slightly. Because I do think Pollard's going to catch the ball. Yeah, in a half PPR, I'd go with Pollard because there's more impact of the rushing yards and the rushing work mattering. But in a full PPR, in a game in which Washington shouldn't be leading in any capacity for majority of the contest, I think they'll be throwing the ball a lot, and I think McKissick will be benefiting from that. So that's why I'd go McKissick there. I appreciate it, James. Jet says, full point PPR. We need a flex. Akers, Deontay Johnson, or Swift. I'm playing Akers there. I appreciate it, Jet. Okay, let me catch up here. A couple questions. Okay, King of Heart says, I played Tanyan last night, but I have Andrews on the bench. Should I plug him in for Sanders, Dobbins, Deontay, or Godwin? Yeah, I'd play him over Deontay Johnson. So that's what I would do right now. I appreciate that. King of Heart. Let's see here. Avnish DeBoss says PPR, Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, Hollywood Brown, or Sterling Shepard. With Daniel Jones out, I don't want to start Sterling Shepard. So it comes down between, in my opinion, Emmanuel Sanders and Hollywood Brown. In a full PPR, I do think that Emmanuel Sanders probably has a little bit of a safer floor. But in my opinion, I'm still going with Hollywood this week. So I go Hollywood, Emmanuel Sanders, AB, Shepard in that exact order. I appreciate it. Bob sends in a question, says Pollard over Gage with Zeke ruled out. In a half PPR, perhaps. In a full PPR, no chance. I'd say with Gage in a full PPR format. Let me think about this. In a half PPR, would I play him over Gage? I honestly think that Pollard is a better runner, purely, than Zeke. I just don't know what Pollard could do if he played a full season as a starting running back. I don't know how his health would keep up in comparison to Zeke. I mean, Zeke's been a little bit garbage this year. In a half PPR, I'm probably still going with Gage. No. Let's go with Pollard. It's that close in my eyes. I honestly do think that I want to play Gage. Because that's probably the safer bet as of right now. But I somehow, for some reason, I have confidence in Pollard somehow doing something today. Yeah, it's tough. Damn. Do I want to play Pollard over Gage? In a half PPR, yes. In a full PPR, let's just play Gage. Steven says, please rank these defenses. Okay, sounds good. Tennessee, 49ers, and the Vikings. All right, let's go to my list, and I'll tell you right now. So we have Tennessee as our number 11. No, we have Tennessee at 12. We have 49ers at 9. I have Vikings way lower than that. So for now, I'm saying the best bet is the 49ers defense today out of that group. So the 49ers, Tennessee, then defense, and then the Vikings, Steven, in that order. Tannehill or Ertz, I go with Tannehill right now. Luca says, Kenyon Drake, J.K. Dobbins, Deontay Johnson, McLaurin. I'd play Kenyon Drake out of those players. Luca, appreciate it. Brandon says, pick 2, Emmanuel Sanders, Corey Davis, J.D. McKissick, full PPR. I play both wide receivers. I play Corey Davis and Emmanuel Sanders. Joel says, Chase Claypool, James Conner, Gus Edwards, half PPR. I'm playing Gus Edwards there. Joko Media Pro says, full PPR, Hunt, Dobbins, Gallman. And then out of that, floor, ceiling, need one. Okay, so I think the floor, ceiling. To be honest, I think the floor and the ceiling are both in the favor of Dobbins. Obviously, we've seen Kareem Hunt have a pretty high ceiling, but I think Dobbins also has it. So for now, I'm for sure going to play Dobbins in this scenario, but yeah, it's tough. Yeah, because you don't really want to leave Hunt on the bench after that week, but to be honest, I think I would at this point because I really do believe that Dobbins does have the floor and the ceiling there. Wilson in the chat saying, there is literally his ranking sheet right in front of you and 50% of the questions being answered by looking at the sheet. Yeah. Again, a lot of the people who are in the chat right now, guys, the questions are the answers that are the rankings that surround me. My goodness, it was hard for me to get there. The rankings that are currently around me are up to date, guys. So if it's like Dobbins or Pollard, the question's there. If it's, Jeff Wilson Jr. or Raheem Mostert, it's there. If it's Russell Gage or Kiki Cutie, it's there. So thank you very much. All right, Dead Pulse XXIII says, hey man, I need to pick 2 in a full PPR. CEH, Hunt, McKissick, Carson. Thanks, man. Yeah, no problem. You did mention like McKissick with Haskins and then Carson with Penny back. I don't think Penny's playing a big role. This is his first week back. They gotta slowly get him more integrated in the offense. I don't think they're just gonna give him a significant amount of touches this week. So for right now, I'm gonna go with Kareem Hunt and Chris Carson as your 2 running backs. That balls, appreciate it. Chi-Town sends in a question, says half PPR. We have okay, who should I start in the semifinals? Ryan Tannehill or Russell Wilson? I play Ryan Tannehill this week. And then Amari Cooper over Lockett. Yes, I play Amari Cooper over Lockett. So I go Tannehill and Cooper there. Johnny Ma says Kiki Cutie, Russell Gage, Tony Pollard, full PPR. In a full PPR, I'm going with the receiver in this case. Like I was mentioning a little bit earlier when somebody asked me. So let me go to, let's see here. Where do we, oh, sorry. I went to the wrong screen. So as of right now, I have Russell Gage as the guy that I'm probably playing there. So between Kiki Cutie, Russell Gage, and Pollard, I'm playing Gage. Appreciate it, Johnny. Griffin Hebert says full PPR, Carson, Montgomery, Hilton, Cup. I go with Montgomery there. It's Montgomery or Hilton. It's one of the two. I feel more comfortable playing the guy that's going to get automatic touches in Montgomery. Donovan sends in a question, says Miles Sanders or Dobbins. I'd play Miles Sanders. Aaron Orozco with a generous donation, thank you very much, says Dalvin Cook and Hopkins starting, full PPR. I need a running back too. We have Fournette, Dobbins, Pollard, Raheem Mostert. I'm playing Dobbins out of those 4 that you mentioned as your RB2. As a wide receiver 2, your options are Deontay Johnson, Hollywood Brown, Kiki Cutie. Between those guys, I'm playing Hollywood. And the flex out of all of those plays. Okay, so if I'm playing a flex out of that bunch, it's probably going in the direct. This is full PPR, right? Man, as much as I want to play Kiki Cutie, I think maybe the safer play is Leonard Fournette. So I'd probably go with Fournette, Dobbins, and Hollywood Brown. Thank you very much, Aaron. I appreciate it. All right, there's a couple questions I got to do via Patreon real quick. Let me go ahead and field these. All right, let's see here. No Zeke today. Just picked up Pollard. Do I use him? Yes. Well, let's see here. Where do I have him? Let's see here. What is this? Okay, one more question real quick. Good day, sir. Pollard is out. Or sorry, Pollard is in and Zeke is out. I need to okay. 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 Did that. I'm coming back. Sorry about that, guys. Manny sent in a question, says Woods or Montgomery in a full PPR. I'd go with Montgomery. Steven sends in a question, says standard scoring, pick one. Kiki Cutie, Russell Gage, and Sanders. Is that Emmanuel? I'm assuming that's Emmanuel Sanders. Regardless, I'd go with Russell Gage out of the group. Jerry Garcia says half PPR, Marvin Jones or Gus Edwards. I'd probably go with Gus Edwards in this specific scenario. It is a little sketchy, but I think Marvin Jones is a sketchy play himself. He really hasn't found a lot of consistency. I know I'd probably say 4 weeks back, I would be on a different note at this point and saying, yeah, you have to start him with Galladay out, but I haven't found enough in his overall productivity to make me think that he's an automatic play. Garrett says, Cardinals defense versus the Eagles or the Browns versus the Giants? I'm playing the Browns defense. Josh Rubin says, who's safer, Breeze or Cousins? I think Breeze is still safer. Yeah. I honestly think both will throw for 2 touchdowns regardless. Damon Smith says, LOL, I'm back. Gallman or Pollard in a full PPR? I'm still playing Gallman there. Vertical says, what does it say? Juice, like Jarvis Landry, Juice, okay. Or Jeff Wilson Jr. in a full PPR. In a full PPR, I'm going to go with Jarvis Landry. Sebastian Perez says half PPR. Hines, Cooks, Mostert. Out of the group, I'm going Nyheim Hines. Fainsky says Wilson Jr. or Rashard Higgins in the flex, half PPR. No Bradbury on the Giants. Yeah. Even with that, I still think that Jeff Wilson Jr. is the better play. I think Rashard Higgins is a fantastic play this week. You could easily play him this week and probably find good production. But I think Jeff Wilson is probably the better play. Or the safer one, the two. J-Dub says full PPR, Hines, Hunt, or Jeff Wilson Jr. I'm playing Hunt. I appreciate it. Ren, with 2 N's, says DeAndre Swift or T.Y. Hilton in the flex. In a half PPR, I'm even in a full or half, doesn't matter. I think I'm going T.Y. Hilton there. Jack J. Berry says Gallman or Cooks at tight end. Okay. Gallman. Wait. Flex Gallman of Cooks at tight end. Wait, what? Okay. Instead of, it meant or. I'm playing Gallman over Cooks at flex. Now, for your tight end, Logan Thomas or Evan Ingram, I'm playing Logan Thomas. Manny sends in another question, says Jefferson or Woods? I'm playing Woods there. No, wait. Didn't I bring Woods down? Yeah, I didn't bring him that low. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure that I'm not giving something that's opposite of the screen. So yeah, I'm playing Woods over Jefferson. Why is Salvin Ahmed not on the list? Ahmed or Hunt? Yeah, I'm significantly more inclined to play Kareem Hunt. Ahmed, I don't even know if he's playing. He was questionable all week. He's coming off of a week in which he didn't participate because, again, he was injured. So even if he does play, I think he splits snaps. That's my only issue. Alejandro says, hi, bro. Half PPR. Jeff Wilson Jr., Pollard, or Fournette? As of right now, out of the 3, I prefer Jeff Wilson, then Fournette, then Pollard. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Taha Ahmed says, Cleveland or New England's defense? I'd go with Cleveland there. New England's on my list. They're just lower. Dobbins or Deontay? I'd go with Dobbins. Reasoning for Amari Cooper over Terry McLaurin and Logan Thomas over Dallas Goedert. I appreciate it. Okay, so here's the thing. Logan Thomas takes the cake over Dallas Goedert in my eyes, mainly because, again, there is a little bit of a quarterback disparity in terms of how many times Carson Wentz likes to target the tight end position in comparison to a guy like Jalen Hurts. Now, that could be the biggest difference maker. Maybe it changes. Maybe Jalen Hurts finds Dallas Goedert in the end zone. Until we end up seeing that, as of right now, I'd go with Logan Thomas in his usage in that offense. As for Amari Cooper over Terry McLaurin, it's mainly because Terry McLaurin has kind of been a no-show in the last couple of weeks. You get a little bit of a quarterback switch. Maybe that brings life into him, or maybe that just continues to kill the offense. I'd rather just go with Amari Cooper, who's been far more consistent as of the last couple of weeks. Let me check something here. Okay, let me see here. All right, next question was from Oscar162. Says half PPR. Mostert, Wilson, Lockett, or Hilton. I'm playing Hilton out of that group. Thank you very much. Okay. Rob Frank says Landry or Gus Edwards, full PPR. I go with Landry there. Appreciate it. Okay, so let me see here. What is this message? Okay, that's that. Let me go check the other link. Sorry about this, guys. We're good. We're good. We're moving. We're grooving. Are we good? All right, cool. Okay, so now that we've kind of handled all of that, let's go ahead and Superstar Frenzy sends in a question. Full PPR, Godwin or T.Y. Hilton. I'd go with T.Y. Hilton there. Dobbins or James Robinson or Jonathan Taylor. I'd go with Jonathan Taylor. Then James Robinson, then Dobbins. Appreciate it. So Hilton, Taylor. You're playing the Colts, baby. All right, let's see here. Let's see really quickly. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right, cool. Let's go ahead. Let's hop back here. All right, let's hop into this chat. Let's see what you guys are on about. So Wesley, your question could be answered on the screen. Thomas, your question could be answered on the screen. August, your question could be answered on the screen. Yoko, I'd go with Pollard over Ahmed. Your boy Drew could be answered on that one could be answered on the screen. Ahmed is not ranked, yeah, because I don't know what he's gonna do. Is DeAndre Washington gonna split carries with him? If that's the case, look, we're assuming, right? We're assuming that hey, Cam Akers went for $171. Any running back can do that. It's not the case. I can assure you, it's not the case. The running game of the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins' offense is going to struggle heavily today. We'll just have to wait and see. But Chris Chang says Pats, Titans, Vikings, or Cardinals defense this week. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots defense out of that group. Aaron Orozco says, should I be worried if I'm playing Lamar and Dobbins in Hollywood? Too many Ravens, full PPR thoughts? Technically, on a normal week, I'd say yes, I'd worry. But to be honest, I'm not too worried about it. They play against the Jaguars. And to be honest, if the Jaguars want to maybe put up a couple extra points early, keep this game interesting, that'd be nice. But I think there's 3 solid quarters of Lamar, Dobbins, and Hollywood just dominating that secondary and defense. All right, let's see here. Alexander Drucker says, full PPR, Jeff Wilson in, but should I play Pollard with Zeke out? Other options are Salvin Ahmed, who's active, Chase Edmonds, and Gus Edwards. No, I'd play Jeff Wilson. You're good to go there. Dustin Smith says, hey, I know you like Gus Edwards over DJ, but both DJ's backups are out. And I worry about volume with Gus, and he's too touchdown dependent. What do you think? Yeah, he is touchdown dependent, but I think when you're playing against the Jaguars, those are things that you don't really have to worry about. That being said, here's the thing. Let's say, for example, David Johnson runs the ball 15 times today. And let's say, for example, if we're generous, he runs the ball at a 4-yard per carry average, okay? What do we get there? We get about 60 yards. So if we get 60 yards there, we're fine. Him scoring a touchdown, not as likely, right? Because, again, his touchdown dependency is, I think, just as desperate as Gus Edwards this season. I could be wrong on the matter, but I think they're pretty close. Let me check something real quick. Where are we at here? Let's go and check this out. So then it just comes down to work in the passing game, right? Like if David Johnson can catch the ball, I don't know. If it's a full PPR and he catches the ball like 4 or 5 times, then of course he's going to be the better play. But in a half PPR format where he catches the ball like, I don't know, let's say he catches the ball 4 times for 30 yards. Okay, he gets an extra 5 points there on top of his 6. He gets an 11-point week, right? I think that, Gus Edwards is very capable of accomplishing something like that. All right, let's see here. David Johnson this season has 4 or 5 touchdowns, right? How many does Gus Edwards have? Gus Edwards has 6 touchdowns. Yeah. So, in Gus Edwards this season, what is he averaging? 5 yards per carry. God, he's just an animal. You could go David Johnson there in a full PPR, but in a half, I'm certainly going with Gus Edwards this week. Alexander Raw says Superflex, PPR Cousins, Trubisky, or Swift. My wide receivers are PPR. Okay, so let's see here. Out of those three, in a 4-point per passing touchdown format, if I'm picking I'm picking the quarterback. I'm not playing a thing. I'm going to play Trubisky there. So I play Trubisky over Cousins and Swift. As for the wide receiver PPR, Deontay Johnson or Marquise Brown, I go with Hollywood. I have Akers. Should I bench Swift? No. Wait, I have Akers. Should bench for Swift? No. I play Akers over Swift. Yeah, okay, we're good to go. Joe says full PPR, Godwin, Pollard, or Gus Edwards. I'm playing Godwin there. How confident are you with Big Ben after the last few weeks? Goff, Hurts, and Breeze available. I'm very confident with Big Ben over the last couple of weeks. I know he's been a shell of himself, but I think the offense will realign itself. Jusicki inactive. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, that offense they're toast. They're cooked today. That's going to be tough for them to move the ball, especially against Bill Belichick. So yeah, I'm confident, Joe, playing Big Ben 100%. Apollo PS2 says Gus Edwards or Pollard half PPR. Need the boom down big. Wait, what? Okay. Gus Edwards or Pollard. Right now, I'm on the side of the Gus Edwards train. I think Pollard could be played, but I mean, when I'm thinking about what he's capable of doing, Pollard. Let's say, for example, he rips off a big run and goes for a touchdown. He makes his week. All you have to do is go for a 40-yard touchdown. You pretty much make your week in this scenario. But as of right now, they're playing against one of the best run-stopping defenses in the National Football League. In terms of what 49ers have given up on the ground as of late, I mean, it really isn't much to opposing offenses, specifically on the ground. Like, let's see. When was the last time they gave up a 100-yard rusher? They haven't given up a 100-yard rusher all season long. Did they do that last year at all? Last season, they gave up one 100-yard rusher. No, they gave up actually a lot more last season. Wow. Why are they significantly better in terms of stopping the run this year when they had all these pieces missing? Interesting. Anyway, the best performance against them as of late was Cam Akers, but that was all done on one drive. Outside of that offense struggled horribly. Nobody's really played well against them on the ground. But I mean, if he does what everyone else has done, he'll get 60 rushing yards, a couple catches. If he gets a touchdown, it's based on field positioning rather than anything else. So again, for right now, I'm going Gus Edwards. Nashawn Jones says full PPR, pick 2, Carson, Sanders, Wilson, McKissick. I'm playing Carson and Sanders unbelievably without a doubt. Lock that in. Rob Frank says Hurts or Baker. I'm playing Jalen Hurts, as you can see on screen. Would you play Fournette or Bowden over Godwin, Kupp, or Jefferson? No, I'd play Godwin, Kupp, or Jefferson over Fournette and Bowden. Thank you very much. All right. Brian Campbell says full PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. We have Devontae Adams played and started. Okay. We have D-Hop, Allen Robinson, Brandon Ayuk, Jonathan Taylor, Montgomery, Akers, Cart. What kind of team is this? Brian, you have literally enough talent to fill 2 rosters. Not even kidding. But anyway, if we're filling out your roster and we're playing 2 wide receivers, DeAndre Hopkins and Brandon Ayuk are my 2 that I'm playing. As for running backs, I'm playing Jonathan Taylor and David Montgomery. As for, flex, I'm going to go with Cam Akers. D-Hop, Ayuk, Taylor, Montgomery, Akers. Thank you very much, Brian. Oh, Colts defense or Dolphins? AP, I have the Dolphins a little bit higher. Let's see here. Robert Woods or T.Y. Hilton, full PPR. I'm still going with T.Y. there. Titans or Cardinals? I honestly have the Titans slightly ahead. Jared Cook or Evan Ingram? That's on screen. It's Jared Cook. I'm telling you guys, literally the rankings that are on the screen next to me, like over there, all of these, they're all up to date. All of them. You can literally tell because all the players from earlier this week have been removed, and there are players that have literally moved up in rankings. Like I didn't have Cam Akers as my number 7 to start the week. I think I had him at 12. He's just moved up very slowly over the last couple days. Wait, what is this? Hold up. Okay, where is this message? Okay, let's see. Let's come back to the chat. Let's go here. Adam sends in a question. There's 2 Adams. Okay, Adam Cara says, need 2 and 1. Okay, need 2, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Okay. Scary Terry, Deontay Johnson, J.D. McKissick. I'm playing both the wide receivers. I'm playing Scary Terry. I'm playing Deontay Johnson there. Thank you very much, Adam Cara. For Adam, the other Adam, Adam, or Adam Atom, I don't know, says, so you got Kiki Cutie over Cooks. Should I start Pollard over either? No, I wouldn't. I'd play Kiki Cutie and Cooks over Pollard as right now. Open Minds Freestyle says, standard 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Wide receiver Thielen, Jefferson, Godwin. Okay, scared of starting 2 Vikings, and then Gallman, Hunt. Okay, so for 2 wide receivers, I am still okay. So this is how we're gonna go about it. We're literally gonna start both of the. Actually, what do you have at running back? You have Dobbins, Gallman, Mostert, Swift. Okay, and Hunt. Wow. Okay, so this is what we're doing. 2 running backs. Open Minds Freestyle. Here we go. 2 running backs, Swift and Dobbins. Those are the 2 of your starting running back position. Your 2 wide receivers, in my opinion, are going to be Jefferson and Thielen, and you're playing Hunt at your flex this week in a standard format. Appreciate it. Harrison says start Ayuk, McLaurin. Start 3. Ayuk, McLaurin, Lockett, Deontay Johnson. I'm playing Ayuk, McLaurin, and Lockett. I'm leaving Deontay Johnson on the bench. Christopher Williams says 2 flex, full PPR. Woods, Amari, McKissick, Ahmed. If I'm playing 2 out of this group, I'm playing Woods and Amari. I appreciate it. Daryl Roberts sends in he sent in a donut, but there's no question attached. Yikers. Let's go find it, shall we? Says Kenyon Drake or Amari Cooper. I'd play Kenyon Drake. I appreciate it, Daryl. Young Skywalker says full PPR, Miles Sanders or Dobbins. I'm playing Miles Sanders, specifically also because he gets passing work. The other doesn't. Okay. Alrighty. Again, a lot of the questions many of you are asking can be answered on the screen behind me. Hopefully that helps. What time are we at? 9:15? All right, not bad. Let's see. What are we going for here? Okay. Let's get back into this chat. Devontae Parker is out. Wait, is he really? No shot. Are they all just like dropping like flies? They were all questionable. If this is okay, let's see here. Matthew Stafford is active. Good. Mark Ingram is inactive. Oh, that is music to my ears. Gus Edwards, Dobbins, let's go. Let's see here. Who else is out? Devontae Parker is inactive. Wow. To be honest, here's the thing, right? I know Lynn Bowden is going to potentially get a little bit more value, but let's think about who he's playing against. I mean, let's be honest. Let's think about who he's playing against. It's Stephon Gilmore and it's Devin McCourty. I still don't want to play him. That's my only thing. I'll play him if that's my best option. You know, like someone asked in the chat, right? Like Bowden or Ahmed in a non-PPR. You know, that's a toss-up, to be honest. Like, I don't know who's going to get more yardage. I would assume that the chances are that Bowden's probably the better play there. But even then, there's no confidence from me there. Like, it's tough. It really is tough. Yeah, Lynn, man. Like, let's say I don't want to play him. I literally, like, here's the thing. When we play players that had a really good week in week 13, in week 14, sure, he had a great week. Got himself a good amount of passes. He only played from the slot. He had majority of his work there. A lot of short yardage completions. My thing is, am I willing to play this player in my lineup to take me to the championship? Because if he ends up disappearing or doing nothing, I'm screwed. And typically, I don't want to risk it like that. Michael sends in a question. Michael Amato says, Andy, sportsbook advice. Bet some money on Jonathan Taylor rushing and receiving over 95. What do you think? Yes. Wait, it's rushing and receiving combined over 93.5? Yeah, I would take that. Yeah, I would. I think the crazy stat that I heard about Jonathan Taylor this year, I think he's 31 of 31 on targets and receptions. It's absolutely insane. Mark Runka says, Gage or Gallman in the flex. If we're playing in a half PPR, I'm playing Gallman still. Aram says, where did we go? Aram, where's the question? Flex full PPR. J.D. McKissic, Tony Pollard, Rashard Higgins, Logan Thomas. If I'm picking one out of that group, I think in a full PPR, I'm playing Rashard Higgins. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Alicia says, choose one, full PPR. Hines, Jeff Wilson Jr., Bowden, Parker, and Jasicki out. Yeah, look, even then, I'm still like, do I really want to play him? I think I'd still play Jeff Wilson Jr. in this scenario. I know it's tough because he should catch the ball a good amount. But let me preface something. Last week, the Dolphins scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. Prior to that, they were losing the game, I think, 30-10 with, I think, 7 minutes left in the third. They threw the ball every single down from there on out. And they didn't have a receiving back, right? Like, Patrick Laird isn't getting a lot of receptions. Salvon Ahmed's not going to come and get a lot of receptions. So, Bowden does have the ability to score or at least get points in terms of receptions and yardage. But again, if he's the best receiver on that field, what do you think Belichick's doing to him? He's just going to bracket him and beat the crap out of him. That's my assumption. I'd just rather go with the guaranteed points of a Jeff Wilson or a Hines. But for now, I'd go Wilson there. Brett says, Robinson or T.Y. Hilton, half PPR. I'm probably going with Robinson there. Appreciate it. But, Robinson's sketchy, though. If it was full PPR, I'd feel more confident about going with T.Y. But in a half, I think I'm just going to go with the running back there. Benjamin says, Juju or Corey Davis? I'm going Juju. Wyatt Wallace, thank you for the generous donation. Says, no question. Finished 10-3, the number 1 seed, and a bye. Thanks for the advice this year. Looking like I'll be playing next week. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Devin says, please help me solidify Claypool or Hines, full PPR. I'm playing Hines there. Let's see here. Turab Ali says, confused my man, Salvon Ahmed or Antonio Brown, half PPR. I'd probably play Antonio Brown there. DJ62, okay, here we go. Montgomery, A-Rob, J.K. Dobbins, pick 2. My soul hurts. All right, DJ, 622. Am I playing Montgomery, Allen Robinson? I think I'm playing both the Bears. And when I say it, it hurts, but I think I have to. They've both been really good. I'm playing Montgomery and I'm playing Allen Robinson. Music Vibe says Tony Pollard, J.D. McKissic, or Jeff Wilson Jr. in a flex. I'm playing Jeff Wilson there. Then I'm playing Tony Pollard. Then I'm playing J.D. McKissic. Lucas Askew says half PPR, Gus Edwards, Gallman, McKissic. And why? The reason why I like Gallman is mainly because the Cleveland Browns have shown an affinity to not being able to stop the run, specifically last week. That is something that I kind of want to buy into. And the last time that Daniel Jones was out of the lineup, they played against Seattle, and they ran all over them thanks to the contributions of one Wayne Gallman. I think they'll run the ball way more this week. I think that's what the offense is going to call for. And Gallman should find some success there. If you're looking for, if you're looking for like touchdown upside, it'll be with Edwards, but I think Gallman's probably the better play there. Evan Thomason says, Adams let me down, and now I'm panicking. Also have Gaskins out. Do I go with Wilson or Goff? I think... Okay, so here's my thought process. I think that Wilson's the play at quarterback. That being said, the safer play is, it is Goff. But when I mean safer play is like, okay, if you want 2 touchdowns and 200 yards, that's probably where you get your points from. But to be honest, I think the upside is with Russell Wilson. And that's why I'd rather play him, because I think that Wilson's just as capable of getting those 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 20 rushing yards, and being a pretty good solid play this week. Okay, where are we at here? Fran says Tony Pollard or J.D. McKissick full PPR. I'd probably play McKissick in that scenario. Dallas Lee says Montgomery or Miles. Starting Alvin Kamara and JT. I play Montgomery there in a full PPR. 4 catches, 40 yards each of the last 3 weeks. Dimitri Jackson says got 3 spots left. Full PPR. I have Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, Brandon Ayuk, Allen Robinson, and Ridley. Matchups love JT and Ayuk. A-Rob has bad history versus the Vikings. It's not bad history. I think he's been decent. He's not been that bad. Earlier this season, if you look at what he did, again, it was with Foles, who wasn't playing well at all in comparison to what Trubisky's doing now. Ridley versus Tampa Bay. Scary Chubb. Okay, so here's the thing. If I'm picking 3 out of this group, I'm playing Jonathan Taylor, I'm playing Nick Chubb, and I'm playing Calvin Ridley. Those are the 3 I'm playing in a full PPR. I'm not leaving Chubb or JT on my bench. It couldn't happen. There's no way I'm doing that. And Ridley, in my opinion, is the best receiving option out of that group. Carlos sends in a question, Mike Evans or Kenyon Drake in a full PPR? I go with Kenyon Drake there. Kelvin sends in a question, says, I have Gage as in my wide receiver position, and I have Lockett in the flex. Should I try to play Pollard? Or should I try to add Pollard and play him in the flex? No, I'd leave it as such. You're good to go right now. Aram says, start 2 full PPR. Cup, Miles Sanders, Brandon Ayuk. I'm playing Sanders and Ayuk there. Thank you very much. Dilo says, pick 1. Bowden, Bell, Snell, Washington, Barber. I'm playing Bowden. If it's a half PPR over those, yeah. Because Bell is not playable. I think Snell's not playable. I think Barber is 100% reliable on a touchdown. Could get it. We'll see. And Washington will probably split snaps. So Bowden's the play there. Thank you very much. Maury says, half PPR. Need 1 for the flex. CH. Jeff Wilson Jr., Claypool. I'd play Jeff Wilson. Let's see here. Kyle sends in a question. Says Gus Edwards or Tony Pollard. I'm going to play Gus Edwards there. I'm even stronger on Gus Edwards now that Mark Ingram's gone or out. The Juxaphy says Pollard, Goddard, Claypool. PPR. Thanks, man. Okay, so Pollard, Goddard, or Claypool in a full PPR. Where did I have Zeke in a full PPR? I'm actually curious. Because that's literally where I'll probably have things. Full PPR rankings. Let me scroll back up here. Where are we at here? Where do I have Claypool? Okay, Claypool's there. Do I have Goddard ahead of him? I don't think I do. Well, maybe I do. Let's see. Where's Goddard? I need to F3 this thing. Control F. Where's Goddard? Okay, there. Goddard's lower than Claypool. Yeah, I'm playing Claypool out of the bunch. That's what I'd go with. Out of that group. It's kind of sketchy, but in a full PPR, I think there's a little bit of a safer floor in comparison. So I'd go Claypool, then I'd go Pollard, then I go Goddard. I appreciate it. Kyle, we did your question. Jay Will says, start Tannehill, Roethlisberger, or Goff. I'd go with Tannehill. I have A.J. Brown. Opponent has Robert Woods and Juju. Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about it. You just want to play the best quarterback, and I think the best of the group is Tannehill. Benjamin sends in another question. It wasn't attached to it, though. Where is it? We did your earlier question, Benjamin, of Juju versus Corey Davis. I said I said Juju Smith-Schuster, but I don't see any new messages from you, even though you sent in another dono. Appreciate it, though. Demetrius, says Landry, Claypool, McKissick. I'm playing Landry there. Sticky Hick says start 3, RB.5 PPR, full. Okay, RB is half PPR, wide receivers full PPR. That's unfair. Anyway, Mostert, Brandon Cooks, Emmanuel Sanders, Higgins, Chad Hansen, cheers. Okay, if that's the case, and it's basically a full PPR, I'm playing Rashard Higgins. Thank you very much. Jesse Sullivan says Pollard or Claypool, full PPR. I think I just answered that, but yeah, I'm going Claypool there. Phil Horn says Flex, Cooper, Deontay, Drake. I'm playing Drake. The Rough Rider King sent in one, but I don't see his question attached to it. Let's see here. Says J.K. Dobbins or Miles Sanders. I play Miles Sanders this week. Owen Horgan says full PPR, Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Hines. I'm probably leaning. I mean, at this point, it's tough. Like, I honestly think that Clyde Edwards probably plays more of the game because, again, Hines is going to have to play behind Taylor. So I'm going to go with Hines there in a full PPR. I mean, again, it could go either way, but I'm more confident with that as of right now. Okay. Just got to check a couple messages here. Okay, interesting. I'll deal with that after. What the heck? All right, let me go back here. Let me check here really quickly. 9:27. All right, man. It's not even. We're chilling, baby. Let's go. All right. Mark Ingram is out. That is 100% I shine. That is great to hear. All right. What are we at here? Okay. Is Chase Edmonds playing? From what I've heard, yes. Dobbins or Gallman? DeAndre, I'm probably playing Dobbins there. He has way more upside of touchdown and overall productivity. Good morning. Hawkinson or Andrews, full PPR? As you can see on screen, Mark Andrews is my number 2 tight end on the week with everybody who's remaining. But I think he's been my number 2 tight end all week long. I don't think he's wavered there, even though Waller went nuclear. Parma 1 says Cooks, Gage, Tyler Boyd. I play Gage there. Michael Williams says full PPR. Flex for upside. Marquise Brown, Pollard, or Wilson. In a PPR, I'd probably go with Marquise Brown, to be honest. But if you want upside, that's where you go with. If you want a safe play, I think Jeff Wilson Jr. is your guy. Terry R says pick 2. Hilton, Pollard, Carson, Emmanuel Sanders. If I'm picking 2 out of that bunch, I'm playing Carson and Hilton. No doubt about it. Would you take Cam Akers or James Robinson in a half PPR if I should take the boom chance? Wait, what is this? Would you take Cam Akers or James Robinson in a half PPR? I don't know if I should take the boom chance or if I scrolled. Hold up. Let me go scroll back up. All right, there it is. If they might F me up with Akers at the moment, James is starting. Big fan. Okay, so here's the thing. As of right now, if you're playing in a half PPR, I'm 100% going with Akers because I know for a fact that they're going to blow through the Jets. Now, as for Robinson, he's been dealing with a knee injury. That's why last week he had the lowest amount of offensive snaps that he had all the season long because, again, they have to limit his snaps. They can't let him play the entire game like he used to because he is a little banged up. So for now, it's for sure an Akers play. Someone sent in a question. Where did it go? Dennis sends in a question. Says who has more upside, Akers or Dobbins? I think Akers still has. Here's the thing about Akers. I think he has such a high floor that there's no way I don't play him. You know what I mean? Like he's got like a 16-point floor in my eyes. Like he could very easily get himself 80 yards, touchdown, couple catches, done. His week's over. For Dobbins, I think Dobbins technically, if we're talking about who has the chance to going nuclear and just like maybe 3 touchdown game, it's Dobbins. But I think Akers is probably the safe high floor guy, because there's always a chance that, just like last week, Lamar gets the rushing touchdown, or Gus Edwards gets the rushing touchdown, or Mark Andrews gets a touchdown. Or there's so many mouths to feed in that offense. It's not a guarantee, but I think Akers right now, in terms of touches as well, his 50 rushing attempts in the last 2 weeks alone, he's getting the rock for sure. Darius Bryant says, standard CH or Wilson. I'm going to play Wilson there. Thank you very much. PL says, need to blow up bad. Full PPR. Thielen or Dobbins? Man, I want to say Thielen, but it's hard to trust Thielen. That's the problem. I probably, in a full PPR, I'm going to say Thielen. I think he could do it. Michael Williams says full PPR. Would you play Pollard or Gus over Gage? Probably not. I'd probably just play Gage over both. Nando says, I'm playing with multiple duds from Thursday and Sunday. Should I go with AB or Bowden in the flex? I'd probably go with Bowden. I don't know how much upside AB has at this point. Maybe he scores a touchdown, but that's out of, as of right now, if we want, PPR work, I think Bowden's probably the guy. Blake says Emmanuel Sanders, Tyler Boyd, Antonio Brown, and Jacoby Myers. I'm going in Emmanuel Sanders there. It's solid for me with him. Roberto says full PPR, Pollard or Bowden. Listed as a running back in my league format. Between the two, I'd go with Pollard. Let's see here. Sherry says, pick 3, Kiki Cutie, Watkins, Gage, Boyd, Antonio Brown, Lynn Bowden. Out of this group, I'm playing Gage, Cutie, and Bowden. Thank you very much. Tyler sends in the question, says, pick 2, Sanders, Drake, or Robinson. You just have to pick the toughest question, huh? I'm picking Sanders and Robinson there. Appreciate it. Titans still a good play with Stafford. I think they're a decent play. They're my number 12 defense. It's not like I'm over the moon about it, At that point, you could literally play just about any other defense and maybe get the same amount of points. Because the number 12 defense in fantasy is like 5 points. So maybe they get a couple sacks, maybe a couple turnovers. That's what you're hoping for. Julio in Mel's Vlogs says, Washington, Dolphins RB. Washington, the Dolphins running back. Yeah, DeAndre Washington or Sony Michel. Full PPR. I'd play Sony Michel because Damian Harris is out. And I think they're going to be able to succeed on the ground, as they always do. Okay. What do we got here? Dio says, full PPR, play Diggs, need 1 wide receiver and a flex. A.J. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Montgomery, James Robinson, Allen Robinson, So you only need 2 players, and you have all these studs? My God. In a full PPR, I'm playing A.J. Brown and I'm playing DeAndre Hopkins. That's your wide receiver and that's your flex for this week. No joke. That's what you're doing, Dio. Oh, that's my suggestion at least. Raghav B23 says J.K., Davis, or Evans. Flex. Who's Davis? Because Mike Davis already played. Who's the other Davis? Am I bugging? Hold up. Corey Davis. Thank you. Definitely not playing Corey Davis. Between the 3, I'm playing J.K. Dobbins. Then Evans, then Davis. Anthony sends another question. Hello again. Ahmed is active. Him or Bowden? In a PPR, I'm going Bowden. Joel Miller says start 3 PPR. Juju, McLaurin, Lockett, Deontay, Russell, Gage, Tony Pollard. Okay. McLaurin, Lockett, Juju. Those are the 3. As for the other league that you're saying, need upside Cup, Hunt, or Emmanuel Sanders. I'm playing Cup in a full PPR. Christopher Garza says Higgins, AB, Connor, Ahmed. Half PPR, thanks. I'm playing Higgins there. Blake says Bowden. Is he a running back or a wide receiver start? I mean, technically, I think in specific formats, he can be played in both. In some of my leagues, you can only play him as a receiver. So for right now, I see him as a receiver. But if he's a running back, then he could potentially be started in a PPR format because that's all he gets. He doesn't get running attempts. He's purely just a receiving guy. Play slot for the team. So yeah, if you're looking for someone to potentially get like 6 catches, maybe like 50-something yards, you can get over 10 points potentially this week. That's the hope. Yuki says Tyler Lockett, Leonard Fournette, Mike Gesicki's out. Salvin Ahmed or Russell Gage. Need 2 full PPR. Out of the group that you've mentioned, I like in a full PPR going with Tyler Lockett and Russell Gage. Thank you very much. Gil 559 says flex Ayuk or Thielen. I'm gonna flex Ayuk there. Goddard or Jared Cook. I like Jared Cook instead of Goddard. Mike Jimenez says pick 2 full PPR. Flex spot. Here we go. Robert Woods, Allen Robinson, Cam Akers, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Irv Smith. I'm not playing Johnson, Smith, or Higgins. Those are gone. So it's between Robinson, Woods, and Akers. Out of the 3 in a full PPR, which are the 2 that I'm playing? I'm probably playing, I'm probably playing Robinson and Akers, but do I want to do that? Yeah, that's probably what I go with for right now. It's tough, but that's probably what I'm going with. Allen Robinson, Cam Akers. Thank you very much, Mike. Donovan says Tony Pollard or Jeff Wilson. Thank you, sir. As of right now, I'm still on the look. Here's the thing, right? There's one of 2 things that needs to be pointed out because this is the question that I think has been asked like 6 times already, and I don't blame you. I appreciate the donation first and foremost. So here's the thing: Tony Pollard is playing against one of the best run-stopping defenses. On the other side, Jeff Wilson plays against one of the worst run-stopping defenses. That in itself, in my opinion, makes the biggest difference as to who's going to have the better week. On top of it, Jeff Wilson, if in fact this team functions the way that they're supposed to against the Dallas Cowboys, regardless if you have Raheem Mostert or Jeff Wilson, both should be successful today. I just think that with Raheem Mostert being questionable, limited this week, he played a little bit of the backup role. Caesar sends in a question saying standard. Pollard is starting. Replace with anyone. I have Miles Sanders and Drake as my running backs and Dobbins as my flex. Gus Edwards also on the bench. No, I wouldn't replace him. Look at the screen, guys. I literally have Dobbins as my number 23 back and a half PPR. I'm 100% playing Sanders, Drake, and Dobbins significantly ahead of them. I mean, it's not even close. Switchblade Dragon, thank you very much, says, ask this question earlier in the week, seeing if you changed your mind. James Robinson, Akers, Montgomery, Jefferson. Sit one in a PPR. I think I'm still sitting Justin Jefferson. I think I'm going Robinson, Akers, and Montgomery still. I think that was what I had last time. I could be wrong, but right now, Robinson, Akers, Montgomery. I'm playing the 3 backs. Okay. Someone in the chat, the one says, who should I start? Browns defense versus McCoy or Seattle? I'd play the Browns defense, yeah, for sure. This is what we've been waiting for, right? The Browns defense winning championships. Week 15, get the Giants. Week 16, get the Jets. That's what we want. Scruff McBuff says Seattle or Cleveland. Wow, perfect timing, but yeah, I answered it. I'd go with Cleveland over Seattle there this week. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Cleveland's my number 4 defense on the week. My Seattle defense, where are they at? Seattle's at 6. Alrighty. 9:39 p.m. PST, or AM PST. What am I saying? Okay, let me check something here on Discord real quick. Okay, now that we've done that, let's go here. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. A little bit of a quiet second. I had to read this entire thing. Okay. Zaza says Gallman over Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. As of right now, No, I have Wilson over Gallman. Okay, cool. Ooh, man. It's been a very interesting week, guys. I'm telling you. By the way, there's about 700 of you in here. If we could, I mean, let's do me a solid. Could we get that like button like just destroyed? Can we all make a concerted effort to please clicking that like button? Miami defense still top 10 play this week? I think so, yeah. That's their best part of their. I mean, that's probably the best fantasy option on that team this week. But again, let's make a concerted effort. Can we all just hit that like button? It does nothing to hurt you. I'm telling you guys. You know, like just click it right now, and then like after the stream's over, then you can like unclick it. You know, but just like do it to make me feel better, because it really will make me feel better. Let's see here. Jefferson or Marvin Jones? I'm playing Jefferson. Yeah, you got to play Justin Jefferson there. What else do we have here? Respect the beard and like. Yeah. Dude, this thing has been on my face for a while, dude. I don't think it's ever coming off. I mean, it probably should eventually. But you know, here's the thing. If I ever was to clean this beard off my face, I'd have to do it in the off season so that I'd have like February until like September to grow it back, you know? Which I think I could, but yeah. All right, what do we at here? The Rough Rider King sent in a question. I gotta find him. Okay, out of this 4 RBs, pick 3. We have Dobbins, Swift, Robinson, Sanders. I'm sitting Dobbins. I'm playing Sanders, I'm playing Robinson, and I'm playing Swift. Dio Good says flex, half PPR. David Montgomery, Thielen, DeAndre Swift, T.Y. Hilton, Corey Davis. I'm playing David Montgomery out of that group. Thank you very much. Alrighty. Yeah, again, if we could. I mean, listen, the like button, it's moving, guys. We're at 370. Okay, 379. All right, we're moving. We're going in the right direction. Ken, Jared Cook over Gronk. Ayuk or Akers? It depends. If we're in a full PPR, I'd consider Ayuk. In a half, I'd go Akers. Is there anybody else that's significant that's out this week? I don't think so. All right, cool. Hurts or Brady? I play Brady against the Atlanta Falcons. Carson or J.K. Dobbins? I'd probably pick Carson, but I think J.K. Dobbins is still a good play regardless. Evans or Justin Jefferson? It's on the screen there, but the answer is Justin Jefferson. Again, guys, I'm telling you, just look at the screen. It's there, the answers. I'm telling you. Alrighty. Emmanuel Sanders or Thielen? Oh, no. Come on. We got to play Thielen, right? We got to play Thielen. 49ers or Bears? I'd play the 49ers. Drake or Swift? I'm pretty sure I have Swift higher than Drake. Okay, so there's more than one person that's asked this just like recently. Okay, so Kyle and who else was it in the chat? Somebody else added. Okay, so here's my opinion on Lynn Bowden so that we're all on the same page. With the entire team injured, right? The question is, can he get the ball 6 times for 50 yards? Certainly. I think that is a very possible outcome. But if you play in a half PPR, that's not great points. Okay, you get technically 8 points. All right, maybe if you needed an 8-point play, then that's fine. But in the semifinals of a fantasy football playoffs, it's nothing that I want to for sure start. And to be honest, playing against that secondary with how good Belichick has been against rookie quarterbacks in his past, I mean, it's probably going to be Devin McCourty or Stephon Gilmore all over him, because who else are they going to cover, right? That's their best receiving option with Gesicki out, with Jakeem Grant out, with Devontae Parker out. It's just an automatic there that they're just going to cover him. So he'll get receptions. It's just I don't expect the crazy thing. Alrighty. Let's see here. Where are we at? Fournette or Mostert could be answered on the screen. Baker, Breeze, or Trubisky, that could be answered on the screen. They're all up there. Scared of Breeze taking one hit and being done. If he wasn't healthy, they wouldn't play him in this matchup. I'm telling you, they wouldn't play him if he wasn't healthy. Christopher, wait, hold up. There's a couple questions that came in. Sorry about that. Ryan Lotan says, pick 2 in a full PPR. Jonathan Taylor, Brandon Ayuk, Robert Woods, J.K. Dobbins. I'm playing Taylor and Ayuk there. Thank you. Luis Lopez says, Akers or Robinson? I play Akers. Christopher Garza says, Breeze, Hurts, or Rivers? Honestly, as of right now, I'm going with Breeze. They're going to throw the entire game. There's no way they can keep up with Mahomes unless they throw the entire game. So I think Breeze is probably the best play there. P. Silly Sybin says, or psilocybin. I don't know why I said P. Silly. Psilocybin. 2-part question for the same team. Should I start Stafford or Minshew? And for the flex, Gage, Boyd, or Gus Edwards? Okay. So Stafford or Minshew? I want to say Stafford because, again, Minshew plays against the Baltimore defense. But if Minshew does some crazy stuff, it's possible. I'd go with Stafford, though. If it's my team, I'm playing Stafford. As for Gage, Boyd, and Gus Edwards, if I'm playing 1.5 PPR, supposed to have been 1-13, but finished 3rd. Thanks for your advice. What do you mean 1-13? Is that what the after your draft it said you're gonna go 1-13? Yeah, that's crazy. Out of the group, if it's a full PPR, I'd play Gage. If it's a half, I'm gonna go with Gus Edwards there. I appreciate it, Psilocybin. Sam Floyd Jr. Half PPR. I need an RB2. Hunt, Akers, or flex. We're playing Swift. Sorry, we're playing Hunt. Sorry, no, we're playing Akers. What am I saying? It's on the screen. You guys are tricking me. I'm literally losing my mind, guys. It's on the screen, but yeah, I appreciate the donation. Akers. Alan Anderson says McLaurin, Akers, or Sanders. Akers is my suggestion there. James Windham says full PPR, Ayuk, Sanders, or Akers. In a full PPR, if I'm sitting one, I'm sitting Sanders. Which is crazy, but it is what it is. You have too many good options. Rock Rodriguez says Godwin or Corey Davis is my wide receiver too. I'm playing Godwin there. Robinson or Mostert, I'm playing Robinson. Telugu says Jeff Wilson Jr., Mostert, or I almost said Fortnite. Or Fournette. I'm losing my mind, guys. I'm losing my mind. I'm playing Jeff Wilson / Mostert over Fournette. But yeah, I'm playing Wilson. Troy O says Goff or Breeze. I mean, guys, it's on the screen. It's Goff. I'm playing Goff over Breeze. I'm playing Kupp over Godwin, so I'm stacking those guys, and we're good to go, baby. Let's get it. Quan Chapman says best channel 100%. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Ron T says Jefferson. Okay, why Jefferson over Cooper Kupp, considering their matchups? Okay, so here's my thing. The Jets matchup is super easy, but I really do think that there is a very good chance that if Cooper Kupp and the Rams are up 30 points at halftime, they're not going to be playing in the second half. That diminishes their value because they will have less of an opportunity to get more targets and more upside. That is the only reason that I have him lower, because otherwise, I had Robert Woods really high and I had Cooper Kupp a little bit higher early in the week. I've just kind of backed off of it because I really do think halfway through the third, they could disappear and not play. I played Cleveland Browns over the Colts defense today. And I think Justin Jefferson proved last time against the Bears that he could definitely take on that secondary. Let's see here. The Murson family says defense, Tampa Bay, Chicago, or Minnesota. I'm playing Tampa Bay today. Okay, who was the next? Scott G sent in a question, sent in a dono, but the question wasn't attached to it. Let me see if I can find it, Scott. Claypool or Davis? I'm playing Corey Davis. It's on the screen right now. Alex Apking says Deontay Johnson, Corey Davis, J.K. Dobbins. I need one wide receiver and one flex. I'm playing Deontay and I'm playing J.K. Dobbins. Thank you. Alrighty. 950, guys. Van says Pollard, Higgins, Cutie. Pick 2, please. I'm playing both wide receivers. All right, guys, we've made it. We're at 9:50. I'm going to be logging off here at about 9:55-ish. Get everything settled. Full PPR. My opponent has Beasley, Allen, Bills defense. Sit to Terry, J.K. Akers, or Deontay. I'm probably sitting both the wide receivers there, to be honest, Philip. Yeah, I'd probably sit both wide receivers. Haha, I think it's funny when you get frustrated. The whole point of the show is for people to ask. Just put up the rankings and don't. Just put up rankings and don't take questions. Then, what do you mean, Surf? I'm trying to save a lot of people money. That's what I'm trying to do, legitimately. A lot of people are asking questions that could be answered just by looking at the screen. I don't think it's hard to ask. You know what I mean? It's not about being frustrated. I'm literally trying to answer your guys' questions, and I see a lot of people in the chat complaining that I'm not answering the questions that are literally being answered on screen. Like it's just purely I'm trying to help. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't trying to help. I literally just sleep in the morning. I wouldn't waste my time. You know what I mean? But I'm here to help because I don't think it's a waste of time, because I'm trying to help you guys win championships. I'm trying to help myself grow this channel, you know? It's not a matter of being frustrated. It's a matter of trying to help you guys. Who's the next question? Average Dan says, start AB versus Atlanta or Brandon. Yeah, I'd probably play Brandon Cooks. Because here's the thing about AB, right? Like, even in this offense, he's the third receiving option. It's not like AB is the AB of old, right? Let me see here. I'm actually curious what his snap counts have been as of late. All right, let's go see what AB's done as of late. Why am I getting stuck there? Okay, here we go. Because I honestly don't think that his snap counts are at a point where I'm like, yeah, he played 49% of the snaps last week. Like, and what did he have? He had himself 5 targets, 5 catches, 49. All right, that's a good game for if you're trying to get a base minimum and a half PPR. But like, unless he's gonna get it, the 8 catches for 80 yards. He's not the same AB as we usually used to have him. So I'd rather just go with Brandon Cooks in that scenario. What are we at here? Raul says half PPR. Gage or Pollard? I mean, at this point, I think I'm still going with Gage. Yeah, I'm probably still going with Gage. I think he has higher upside, to be honest. Scott G says, weed or alcohol? How about neither? Anything that I have to pay for in that sense, if it's free, then sure. But if it's not, I don't want to waste my, to be honest, it's just like yeah. Rishab Singh says, where did it go? Whoa. Where did it go? Why Hilton over Jefferson? The last 3 weeks of production has been incredible. He plays against Houston again. They don't have their number 1 cornerback because he's been suspended for steroids. It's going to be a blowout. Nah, it probably won't be a blowout. It'll probably be close, but I think he's just going to be able to do whatever he wants like he has in the last couple weeks. I mean, him and Rivers are really just like on the same wavelength. They weren't earlier this season, so it's been good to see them at least kind of settle it together. Problem Bless says start 1. This is the last question that I'm fielding via donation, by the way. So no more after this problem. Start 1, wide receiver, 1 flex. Ayuk, Thielen, Drake, Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr. Need to win. Playoffs down 7 right now. All right, out of the group, I like Ayuk significantly more than anybody else at the wide receiver position. As for the flex, I do prefer Kenyon Drake. So I'd go with Drake and Ayuk this week. Those are my 2 suggestions over Thielen, Mostert, and Wilson. I could see an argument in which you'd play Thielen over Drake for right now. I think I'm good to go. Yeah, I like that. James Euler, okay, hopefully you're the last one donated because I'm good to go here. Ridley and Ayuk. Oh, man. Down 20. I feel like Ayuk has a higher upside versus the Cowboys than Ridley. Yeah, I mean, look, they're back-to-back in my rankings. I don't think either of them are a bad idea. I think both of them are very capable of having high upside. Yeah, should be good to go there. Ethan, take Andrews over Hawkinson. Okay, yeah. All right, we're good to go. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys coming back. Coming by. Yesterday we had a stream. Today we had a stream. We're good to go. Hopefully, everything goes the right way. Again, like I've mentioned, I'm gonna go to my sanctuary, and I have like little pictures of like Montgomery and Miles Sanders and Cam Akers. I'm gonna pray to the fantasy gods that they all perform as accordingly this week. That's the biggest hope. We just got to get some good production this week. We got to survive another week so we can get to the fantasy football championships. I know some of you guys play in week 17 championship. I'll still be here by then. I'll still be around. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Been a wonderful Sunday morning. Let's hope for this entire slate of games today to be exciting and get everything going. What is the Monday night game? I'm actually curious here. The Monday night game is, and I quote, the Bengals versus the Steelers. Yeah, I don't want to start any Bengals, and the only Steelers I like is those receivers, specifically Juju first and foremost. But anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys coming by. I appreciate all the very generous donations. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be good to go. Until then, I don't know if there's going to be any waiver wire pickups. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe Pollard is the number one guy, but we mentioned him last week. You should have already, Anyway, it is what it is. Thank you guys. Until next time, tomorrow, waiver wire, Tuesday, running backs. Oh, you know what it is? Hold up. When is Christmas? Christmas is on Friday. Yeah, okay. We'll do the normal videos Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No problem. Friday, I'll take the day off. We'll be back Saturday because there are Saturday games next week. All right, we're good to go. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace.